Okay. So here is another study showing the relationship between glutathione and stem cell function. And, there are a number of different diagnostic techniques that can look at things like look at glutathione, look at protein utilization. And as we're looking at the subject of longevity and how do we reverse human aging, these diagnostic tools become incredibly important. So, for example, mTOR. When we're looking at the subject of how do we preserve muscle mass, many researchers today believe that the best way to stay younger longer is through calorie restriction. And of course, for many people, that's extremely difficult. And one of the things that's driving this is the subject of mTOR. In other words, the getting enough of the amino acid leucine in the diet to turn on mTOR to induce muscle protein synthesis. And there's certainly diagnostics today where we can look at that, but not over a period of time. So it would be important to distinguish between the acute and chronic stimulation of mTOR in this regard. And I would also argue that this does come back to how well are we managing oxidative and inflammatory stress as a result of metabolism. This is just a very, very long way of saying that maintaining levels of glutathione help to manage the oxidative and inflammatory stress so we can induce mTOR safely relative to aging and keep our muscle mass and strength. So anyway, here is another study that's showing that glutathione levels are an incredibly important attribute of our body. So in other words, when you're using glutathione, if you're saying, really the only benefit I want is to reduce my lines and wrinkles, that is an indicator of your body's levels of collagen, your body's ability to produce collagen and utilize it for maintaining overall health. So the corollary to that, another way of looking at it, is that if the health of your skin is poor, then the collagen structures in your cells are not going to be optimal. So you want to be thinking about how you can restore your collagen. And that's going to involve supplementation with glutathione, maintaining health with things like X39 and our glutathione patches, maybe taking a vitamin C supplement, maybe taking a collagen protein in the short term, many different things that you can do to get your collagen levels back. But it's critically important. It's not just about the health of the skin. All right, so I promised that we were going to take a look at this and we're going to get this up on our social media. So X39 is our premier product because it does so many things. And in fact, we found that elevating copper peptide would preserve our body's levels of glutathione. So in some of the original studies we did on X39, which are on our website, you can see that glutathione levels are going to go up about 30 to 40%, which is great. Our glutathione patch, of course, we've seen in studies elevate glutathione over 300%. So I would still say start with X39 because it does so much. But if you wanted to complement it with our glutathione patch, you certainly could. But here, regardless, here is a study that's just out in 2023 looking at the effects of glutathione on stem cells. And incredibly, glutathione will rejuvenate old stem cells and specifically old muscle stem cells. Now, if you have come to any of our live events, and of course we have a convention that's coming up in October, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. So hope to see you there. This is something that I've talked about and shown evidence of with some other techniques, such as using oxytocin for actually reversing the age of the muscles, for using products like X49 to activate satellite stem cells in the muscle, and for gaining muscle mass and preserving muscle mass as we age. So what's important about this is that as we age, let's say you're someone that's over the age of 60, and you've noticed that you've lost muscle, you've had atrophy, you've lost strength, you've lost bone mass, and you want to reclaim that. Speaking with your doctor and getting on a good program, making sure you have your diet in order, which is really key. Being on a program of resistance training, whether or not that be through weights or body weight exercises, is critically important. But if you're over the age of 60 and you get on those programs, the quality of the muscle that you're producing is not going to be as good as when you're younger. So what do we do about that? Well, right here, this shows that restoring levels of glutathione, and we've seen it in other studies with oxytocin, with AHK, will rejuvenate old muscle and get those muscle fibers to start behaving like younger, healthier cells. So yet another benefit of glutathione that we hadn't known about.